I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drum's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soared into the light.
Hello everyone and welcome to the glide slope, and today we are going to make a nice little flight out of Madrid to London City in the United Kingdom. And we're taking this little pocket rocket, the Embraer 300E, which is one of my favorite business jets at the moment. I'm just prepping a few minor things here on my side so that you guys can enjoy the flight. So give me just a second while I finish everything. So I'm just making sure that you guys get the proper flight plan on the top, for example, which I'm prepping right now. I use a third-party program and it needs to be manually loaded, so it's always takes a little moment to do so. So let me load the plane itself. Then now we're going from LEMD to EGLC. Call sign for today is going to be NetJets UK. Alright, so now that's updated. E55P is the ICAO code for the Embraer 300 Phenom. So now you know. Alright, so we're good to go. Now let's just load Beyond ATC and Active Sky. That Thunder is Active Sky loading, and the Bing Bong is Beyond ATC. Let's connect Beyond ATC now.
Beyond ATC connected.
And it is connected. Alright, so You guys know the plane. We already have like the presentation flight for it. It's a brilliant plane. Today's live livery is going to be awesome. I really love this livery. It's like a mix of polished gray and carbon. It's not actually carbon, it's just pretending to be carbon. It looks really, really great. The plane looks great overall. A little heavy on the frame rate. We talked about that in the past. But yeah. Now here's a plane I would love to fly. I think this is the Learjet 35. At least it looks like the Lear 35 or the 45. That's the DHL terminal down there. It's also another flight I want to do is fly some DHL flights around Europe using various planes like the 737 from ASL. And oh, this guy just showed up. That's a Citation jet. And that I think it's a Falcon. Looks like a Falcon. So yeah, lots of biz jets on this section of the Madrid Barajas airport. That's a looks like a Gulfstream. Right, let's prep the plane. We start by removing these. Nope, let's not go inside for just yet. We need to remove the pins. This is the gear pin, not the pins, the before flight covers. So we remove the pitot heat, the pitot covers actually, not the pitot heat. And now I remove the gear pin. So the gear pin prevents us from operating the gear, so it will not allow the gear to be pulled up inside. So remove the engine covers on both sides, looks good. So this is more or less a walk around, but we're not verifying anything. This plane does simulate wear and tear, but as I said in one of my AMAs, people were kind of complaining the walkarounds themselves are a bit boring, so we still can't go in through there. We're a bit boring, so I decided to stop doing them, just for the sake of having people actually enjoy my flight. So let's take a look at our plane here, see how it fares after all these multiple flights I've done recently. Looks good. Engine hours, very few, 5 hours only. Actually, the reason behind some little hours is just that I'm making very short flights with this plane just to test stuff. So that's why I don't have much more hours on those. And tire pressure looks good. There is a little bug with the tire pressure regarding the weather, so it starts inflating on its own. And I get it, it's like a simulation, but you know, it still looks weird. So here's our flight for today out of Madrid into a very, very cool flight level 340, which we will increase over time. This is just a step climb all the way to London City Airport. A very cool approach, very steep descent into London City. I think you guys will enjoy it. So we're looking at the METAR for the departure first, or METAR, depending on your pronunciation. So it looks good. It looks 130 at 13 is the wind, variable between 080 and 160. It's KVOC, and whoa, 39 degrees. That's very hot. So it's going to be a very hot cabin today. QNH 1019. 2.9. So yeah, Madrid is very hot. I remember flying there occasionally, and yeah, it was but much hotter than Portugal for sure. And then we're going through a heat wave right now in Europe overall. So first things first, let's load. So we already have the passenger loaded via Simbrief. That's exactly what we want, but we will not load them just yet. So all covers have been removed. We only got the chocks connected to GPU, and that's what we need. So no, that's the ice protection. What am I doing? It's right here. Battery 1, battery 2, and now connect the external power. We're going to set everything to auto, even though we don't have neither electrical or pneumatic. We also don't have the pumps running. We're not, so we're just going to leave the hydraulics for now. Passenger signs on and on. Windshield heating will not be needed at them, but we will put the ADS probes to auto. Ice protection, we'll leave it off for the time being. Probably not going to use it today, so okay. We're going to set our pressurization mode to auto, even though the door is open, it's not going to do much. Our air conditioning system also set to auto. Let's leave the temperatures controlled by the cabin, but ours, I'm going to raise it a little bit to the center. So set ECS to both. Oh, we need to arm the emergency light. Where is the emergency light? Also turn on the I'm always baffled at some of the things that I miss when I fly between jets. So, emergency lights. Honestly, I don't recall having a switch just for that. But could be just a matter of, oh, I know, it's on the overhead. I don't remember. My bad. So passenger control. Set emergency lights to arm on the center. We got nav on. Let's not, let's not expend too much of the electrical system. So it's battery discharge. So it means that we are probably discharging the battery too much. We won't have enough power to turn on the engines. So I'm going to leave this on auto, but just going to vent the ECS off the air conditioning for now, and now the light is no longer discharging the bat, so that's what we need. Let me see if I can just turn on the air conditioning. Yeah, so cabin temperature is a bit high, but the air conditioning is on. The door is open though, so there's not much we can do about that. We're not going to board the passengers yet. We're going to load the flight first, and for that we need to run the checks. Just making our tests here. We don't have sound. There we go. That was missing.
TAWS system test. Okay.
Alright. You can only test TAWS after the system aligned itself. So sometimes I would do it before that.
System test passed.
And I would get a fail and I couldn't understand what it was. So we got 38 degrees, that's the detected versus, oh, we are discharging battery again, so what can I turn off here? Maybe the ADS probes. Nope. So I really need to turn off pressurization system. Nope. Alright, so it appears that we cannot turn on, but you see the cabin rising, the temperature rising. So that's going to be a problem. Maybe we can turn off the vents, turn on the bleeds. No, so I'll just leave it off for now. The passengers will complain about the temperature for sure, but it's something they will need to live with. Alright, now let's go to engine settings. Takeoff data is set. Send data. Alright, that's for the FADAC. And now the flight plan is not loaded for some reason. I just loaded, so I'm just going to reload the flight plan to see if that's all. Ah, there it is. All right, let's call ATC.
Artisan 22 X-ray, request IFR clearance to London City.
Artisan is the NetJets UK call sign.
Artisan 22 X-ray, Rogers delivery, information Limo current, cleared to London City via the Selmo Sierra 5 Victor departure, runway 14 left, climb via SIG 3000 feet, squawk 5454.
Cleared to London City via the Selmo Sierra 5 Victor departure, runway 14 left, climb via SIG 3000 feet, squawk 5454, Artisan 22 X-ray.
So we got
Artisan 22 X-ray, read correct.
for Lima,
Contact
but
ground
the
121.908 when ready for pushback or engine start.
Ground 121.908 when ready, Artisan 22 X-ray.
So it's C5 Victor. Load, and that's it.
Europa 9172,
VNAV is
update Tango
enabled.
3 for request pushback and engine start.
Transition altitude is 13,000.
Europa 9172, Rogers ground, pushback and
Looks
engine
good.
start approved. Face north.
Pushback and engine start approved,
So
face
let's
north,
set the
Europa
landing field. We have
9172.
an SMFMS. Let's load the aircraft. Yeah, it's still not there. So let's go here and let's load the cabin. It's going to be a bit hot. There we go. So now we can load data correctly. Still nothing. There it is. Finally. Pilot's a bit chubby. I'll just reduce that. Again, load instantly. Still chubby. Not sure why it deleted the weights. Still deleting the weights.
Europa 9172, ready to taxi to the active.
Europa 9172,
Did I
taxi holding point
upload
runway
instance?
14 left
Oh
via
my,
India,
I'm
date 6 Mike
unloading
Kilo Alpha,
passengers.
Romeo 8 Kilo 1.
Taxi holding point runway 14 left via India, date 6 Mike, Kilo Alpha,
Alright,
Romeo
now it's
8
done.
Kilo 1, Europa 9172.
Still chubby pilot though, but doesn't matter. So we're gonna sync the FOB. We got fuel on board is 3,705 and we got 1,102. So our CG looks within the flight envelope as we would like to. Takeoff data, runway 14 Lima, correct. Set the weather. So we need to load the weather here real quick. So we got wind at 120 at 12. 120 at 12 knots.
Air
Temperature
Nostrum 7 for
38.
Foxtrot Alpha by Rogers ground,
37
pushback and engine
actually.
start approved. Face east.
Pushback approved, face
And barrel
east,
pressure
Nostrum
is
7 from
1019.
Foxtrot Alpha.
Done. That's the runway length. Takeoff config, we take flaps 1. Temperature limit exceeded, so we are going to cheat a little bit. So the limit is 36, so we are right 1 degree above, so we are going to cheat on temperature here so that we can operate today. There shouldn't be a problem. Accept takeoff speeds. This is the takeoff speeds, and accept. We're good to go. So now we have the passengers on board. They will be very uncomfortable. And there they are. So let's set up the seatbelt signs. Where's the seatbelt signs?
All aircraft
they
be
are
advised
on. So
information
they are
mic
still
now current QNH 1019er.
unbuckled. Let's serve some coffee. Just to let them. There it is. So now we are going to turn on one engine. We're going to turn on engine 2 so we can get the so the flight plan is not on the map. There, now that is. Right, here's a flight plan. Still don't think flight plan is there. Oh, that's odd.
Korean Air 914 Heavy,
Why
contact
are we
Rogers
in the
Tower
middle of the Atlantic Ocean?
118.908. Contact Tower 118.908, Korean Air 914 Heavy, good day.
It is correct though. Alright, so we are good to go. Let's close the door, start the engine number 2. Let's close the door. Remove the chocks. And let's start number 2 with the
Europa 9172, hold position for traffic.
Hold position Europa 9172.
Europa 9172, continue taxi.
Continue taxi Europa 9172.
hydraulic pumps running. Alright, we are good to go. Now we can turn on the air conditioning. And we can also turn off the GPU. Alright, now let's turn on number 1. We could request and startup.
Artisan 22 X-ray at round 135 request startup.
Artisan 22 X-ray startup approved, call when ready for taxi.
Local startup approved. Artisan 22 X-ray.
Alright, we're good to go. How's the cabin comfort for now? Yeah, very hot. But now I'm unsure if the air conditioning broke. Let me check here on the synoptics. Yep, the air conditioning broke. Oh my god. So now I can't really operate much. This is a very sensitive unit, and we shouldn't turn it off for engine start. It was my bad. Now it's broken. You can see there the VCS is crossed. I broke the air conditioning. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a very unpleasant flight for those guys in the back. But the air conditioning is only used really to cool off the cabin at some point when the engines aren't bleeding air into it, so we need to get airborne. There's no way to fix it right now, so there's also no option here to turn on and off. But if you come here, you cannot perform maintenance tasks unless you are on the ground with the engines off, so my bad. It's the second time this happened to me. So, ground charts. We're just going to ignore the passengers for now. It's not like affecting our flight or anything. So here we are. This is the airport we're in. We need to get out of this area here all the way to runway 14 Lima.
2 X-ray, request taxi.
Artisan 22 X-ray, taxi via Charlie Alpha, Charlie 1 Mike, India 8, gate 1, India Golf 3 Alpha, Limo 7, hold short of runway 14 right.
Taxi by Charlie Alpha, Charlie 1 Mike, India 8, gate 1 India, Golf 3 Alpha, Lima 7, hold short of runway 14 right.
So we need to go
Artisan
through
2 X-ray.
gate 1. So it's going to be Charlie Alpha. Where is Charlie Alpha? So Mike. Let's see if this is better. So we are down here. Oh, there it is. So Charlie Alpha and Charlie 1 all the way down here. Then Mike all the way here. Then India 8. Where's India 8? So Mike, India 8 all the way up here. And then India 9 or gate 1, whatever. And then via Alpha. Where is Alpha? That's odd. All right there. So G4, G3 actually. So we need to go through here, G3, then Alpha, all the way back to hold short runway right here. What? They want us to go through here? Why? Why here? So we can cross the runway. Alright, so it's really hot taxi, but okay. So let's do that. Taxi light on. Can leave the inspection light on. Let's turn the cockpit panel lights. We're good to go. Parking brake off. The chokes have been removed. We are cleared. So, oh, we need to push back. Ah, that's gonna be pain in the real end, I'm sure. Yeah, GSX doesn't allow that. Alright, so we'll do it. Yeah, don't worry about that, GSX. We can do this. So this is the particularity with these planes that you don't really, sometimes you don't really get to perform pushback because you need to start your engines and then GSX will say it can operate with the engine still on. It's not a pretty sight sometimes. But we can do this. So right here, we need to turn right here on G3. On CA actually. There we go, CA. This is it, right? CA, all the way C1 and then Mike 1. It's not like there are barriers. It's just that sometimes you need to operate around other planes and you need to focus on the not hitting anybody or not, you know, sending jet wash all over. You can actually use this one as well. So Mike is coming up. Mike 1 right here is the penultimate turn. So if we can carry on, we'll go through the other just go the quickest route? Well, I am imagining, even though Beyond ETC isn't really great at ground handling and separation with traffic separation, I'm thinking that it's routing other planes the same way, so I want to avoid, well, collisions, but also clogs. And unfortunately right now Beyond ETC does clog a lot. I mean traffic. It does clog traffic quite a lot, and yeah, we need to be extra mindful. So all the way up here, then turn right. Actually no, we need to go forward, so we need to go through here, right? Oops. Yeah, we need to go through here because we need to carry on through Gate 1, which is a weird taxi, but it is what it is. Yeah, going forward because I think, yeah, this is Mike 8. We need to turn here at turning point 3. So we're going to go forward here. Now let's align ourselves with the taxiway. Madrid is a very big airport. Not as big as Schiphol, I think. Well, maybe bigger than Schiphol, but the taxi lanes are a lot more civilized, if you know what I mean. So we are going to climb to, what was the clearance here? 13,000 initially. This plane is very heavy, remember that. So I'm getting some weird vibes here with this map. So we need to be careful because we're going to need to turn here, and there are other planes here waiting. airplanes coming as well, so I'll just remove this plane and this plane. Done. So let's carry on. We also need to set up our QNH, so it's 1019er. Definitely something wrong with this GSX runway emplacement, and we need to address that later. So this is a funky...
Approaching 14 right.
Yep, I know. And now we need to turn left, which is odd, so we can go to 14 left. So there are multiple taxiways up front that we could use, but yeah, it's using this one for some reason. I'm not going to go through there. Turn left here, just like that other plane there. You see it? And then we need
on runway 32 left.
We need to go via Gulf 4. So this is Lima 4. Oh man, there's something messed up about this. So it's Lima 4, not Gulf 4. So we need to go to Lima 4 right here. It does say Lima 4. So yeah, it is correct. So then Alpha and Kilo 1. There's another plane lining up on the runway there, but it's not going to take off with that guy crossing. Yeah, be honest, you see, it's a little mess when it comes to traffic handling. Needs a lot of work, especially with broken airports, which this one seems to be. I need to get a. I need to know which airport this is. Maybe there's a fix already somewhere made it. So here we are back on Lima 4. Alpha to the right, and then go through all the way to Kilo 1. So pretty straightforward from here on out. As a TAP Portugal airplane there, taxi. Always nice to see a little piece of land, even though it's just an airplane. And it's coming this way actually, so let's hurry the heck up. Beat him on the cross. It's gonna turn left for sure. So let's slow down. There's a big pothole there. It's gonna turn left. Oh no, it does. It's waiting for me. All right. Don't mind if I do. First time I see traffic actually stopping. Of course they knew it was me. I'm just waving them. Hey guys. Sir? Carry on taxi. So nice of them. And they're continuing to taxi actually. It's fun. Speed on the taxi. So now right hand turn right here, which will take us to Alpha and then go all the way out to Kilo 1 and then we'll call the tower. So taxiing in Madrid is, especially on these remote stands, is almost like planning a flight. Sometimes it takes as long. Well, I think I can remove the split. Those two runways look weird. I think this one will also look weird apparently. It's only the southwards runways, 14 left and 14 right, that appear to be offset in MFS. So I'll look into that in a moment after I finish this flight. Nice Iberia planes, some other airline. What's that one? Oh, that's Vamos, yeah. Or Wamos, LATAM. We're getting to Kilo 1. So this is Kilo Charlie 2. We want to go to Kilo Charlie 1. Where is Kilo 1? Yeah, it's Kilo 1. Kilo Alpha 1 and then Kilo 1.
RTSL 22 X-ray, contact Barroges Tower 118.908.
Contact Tower 118.908, Artisan 22 X-ray, bye bye.
One more and then right, alright. Kilo 1, that holding point there. Even though we could turn just now. There it is, Kilo 1 to the right. This is the one we want to be in. This is Kilo Alpha 1. Kilo 1 holding point. This is the Cat 2. Let's get to the visual holding point. Right about here. Alright, so we are good to go. Hydraulics, pumps, generators, electrical. Flaps set for takeoff. Our speed brakes are cleared. We got our traffic, we got our map. Let's zoom out on the map so we can get the route correctly. Alright, we're good to go.
Artisan 22 X-ray, ready for departure. Runway 14 left.
Artisan 22 X-ray, Barroges Tower, wind 120 degrees, 12 knots, runway 14 left, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 14 left, cleared for takeoff, Artisan 22 X-ray.
Turn on the damper, nav, and VNav. Set flight level change, 200 knots. Flight director is on.
On runway 14 left.
14 left confirmed. And here we go. Thrust set. Spoilers failed there, not sure why. Maybe we're overspeeding for the ground spoilers, but they weren't even deployed. Speed check flaps up. Deployed a little too slow.
Departure, Artisan 22 X-ray. Good evening, passing 4,200 feet, climbing to 3,000 feet.
Artisan 22 X-ray, to departure, identified climb flight level 170.
Trimming the nose
Climb
down.
flight level 170.
Autopilot
Artisan 22 X-ray.
couple. Climb to flight level 170 now. So the plane doesn't have auto thrust, but you need to put it on constant climb mode, and then after you get to cruise, you get to max cruise. The plane will always keep whatever you input here, the flight level change page to 25 knots. Actually, you input on your CDU, not here. So passing 10,000 feet, we are going. Oh, forgot to throw. Turn off the taxi lights. We're about to make a left-hand turn. Next. Our transition is at 1500. Not 1500, 15,000, sorry. So we are going to stay in altitude for now. A slight right-hand turn you can see here, and then it will turn left. So transition at 13,000, so we're going to set our barrel reference to standard. Set barrel, standard barrel, cross-check. Let's go to Madrid Center.
Contact Madrid Center.
How's the cabin? Out of curiosity, 36. Ooh, that's on. And the guys are just not buckled on their seatbelts. Not sure why. It is on and on. Let's go to 340. Flight level 340. That's just the initial. Oh, sorry. That's just the initial climb altitude. That will.
119.55.
Center on 119.55, particular 03.
Air Nostrum 60 Lima Romeo, cleared at Axel 7 Bravo arrival, runway 18 left. Cleared at Axel 7 Bravo arrival, runway 18 left. Air Nostrum 60 Lima Romeo.
I really like this thing.
Air Nostrum 60
Very,
Lima
very
Romeo,
slick.
descend VSR to 8,000 feet, QNH 1020.
Look at that.
Descend VSR to 8,000 feet, QNH 1020. Air Nostrum 60 Lima
I don't
Romeo.
usually like completely grayed out planes, but this one is really pretty. That carbon line texture looks really awesome.
Ryanair 162 Charlie, descend VSR 5,500 feet, QNH 1019. Ryanair 162 Charlie, contact Santiago approach 120.2.
Contact Santiago, approach 120.2, Ryanair 162 Charlie.
So let's just read our flight plan here. I'm gonna serve a few coffees and a snack, clean the cabin. Speak with the guys once in a while. I'm also going to... Oh, let it be. I'm just going to switch off the outlets so that...
Madrid Center, Air Nostrum 88 Sierra Charlie, passing 13,000 feet, climbing to flight level 160. Air Nostrum 88 Sierra Charlie, Madrid Center,
See, the cabin
identified,
is
climb flight level
slightly better
320.
now, but it's still
Climb flight
freaking
level
hot.
320, Air Nostrum 88 Sierra Charlie.
My bad. I messed up. I just obliterated the air conditioning again. So our next climb will be at DGO to flight level 430. So where's DGO? There it is. So DGO Domingo. That's an airway. Oh, we need to... How do I zoom out of here? I really hate this logics here. These logics. So, we need to... No, don't move. Stop moving. Stop moving. So I need to go back to... God, stop moving. Back here to the charts, okay, click on routes, and we are now going to see where that DGO, so it's Domingo, Santo Domingo de la Calzada, beautiful, Aranda de Duero, El Burgo de Osma. I often don't read Spanish, but it's a very sweet language, isn't it? Kind of rolls on your thumb. On your tongue. Bring up the... So Betsy's not with us today because I forgot to load her in, but our passengers, they don't look happy. Is it hot over there? It's not hot over here. Yes, it is. Just don't tell. So a little longer to get to Domingo, and we are going to still need. We'll still need to fly at flight level 340 for now. Yeah, my bad. So air conditioning needs to be turned off when the engines are starting. Otherwise, we'll overstress the compressor. That's exactly what happened. I completely forgot about it. My bad. I already done this once. Destroyed the air conditioning. So there's no option on the realism tab here for the air conditioning, which is unfortunate. Here we are, flight level 340. We'll stay here for a while. The plane will accelerate. It will get us close to Mach 0.80 as it should. OET is still hot for this altitude. So at flight level 340, our temperature outside is 26. That's freaking hot. At these altitudes we are normally around 10, maybe less, even during hot days, but this is just outrageous. I think this is OAT, because it should say either OAT or TAT. But this is how Garmin works. So this is the Garmin 3000, which means you only get 2 of these remote controllers for these 2 pages. So you see here, these are color coded. One's for the left controller and the other is for the right controller. You can actually switch these around. For example, if you split this, which I'll show you. So let's say if I want to, out here on settings, and I want to split. So now you see this one's black, this one's blue, and this is magenta or pink, whatever you want to see it. If you want, you can switch to the left. So now you see this control here is controlling the navigation map on the left side. I can actually zoom in and out. We were using that for the ground handling. See that? So now if I want to control this one, I have 2 options. Either I move the controller to this panel, or I move this one to the left, you see. Now this one's being controlled by the pink panel. Think this as the pink panel. And now I'm controlling it. So now if I want to go back to the traffic map, I also can switch this one to the right. But it's going to be a switcheroo. You see down the cyan or blue is on the right side. So now they're traded off, so they're crossed. And if you remove this map, there's no way to bring it back correctly. So the only way to do it is bring this one back to the left. Actually, no. Bring this one back to the left. This one back to the right. And this one back to the right again. And now it's as it should, so directly controlling the panel just above. It can be a little confusing, especially if you want to control similar. So let's say you want to put the ground, just like I was using the ground maps here or the charts. It's going to be a little confusing at first to get to know what you're controlling. And if you want to zoom in on the chart on this one, I'll give you I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to set up charts here. So let's say I'm in this chart. It doesn't matter what it is. This is for London City. But if I'm on this chart and I'm looking around and I want to zoom in on the chart, if I move the knob to the left, and now I start zooming in, look at that. Now I'm moving this one, and I want to move that one. So how do I do it? Again, you can either move this one here, and now you can zoom in on the map, or you can zoom on this one, and now you can move on the map. Another cool feature about the GNS or the Garmin is this one. So if you press the button, you can actually use a touchpad. Not sure about the zoom. I can never get the zoom to work. Oh, see here, it says it's a pinch movement, but there's no way to replicate a pinch movement on this plane. So, but again, you can zoom in using the knob. So
contact Madrid approach 118.4.
Feature.
Contact Madrid approach 118.4.
Now let's bring this back to where it was. So we're gonna get this back to full. And this one back to map. On the right side, we can set it up for weather. So this is the default weather mode, which is called Connect weather system. I am unsure how it should work, to be honest, because it's very erratic for me. Sometimes I flew with weather and I couldn't see anything on the map. If you aren't sure, I think this is like context map weather for your map. So
Air Nostrum 184, contact Madrid approach 118.4.
What is it doing, by
Contact
the way?
Madrid approach 118.4, Air Nostrum 184.
Iberia 07 Delta Papa, contact Bordeaux control 120.3.
Center on 120.3, Iberia 07 Delta
I
Papa.
think it's confused. Because for me, it's showing out of SIE to Edigo, but it's flying whatever the heck it wants to fly. I'm not sure what's going on here right now.
Duty 3 Kilo Juliet, contact breast control 124.725.
What is this?
Center on 124.725, beauty 3 Kilo Juliet.
There's a flight, so this happens quite a lot. So Edigo,
Air Nostrum 57 Delta Victor, descend via start to 5,000 feet, QNH 1019er. Descend via start to 5,000 feet, QNH 1019er, Air Nostrum 57 Delta Victor.
Edigo. I'll explain what happened. So there's one in Spain, and now we're going to activate. So out of SCE to Edigo. Okay. And what's going on? We are
Artisan 22
way
X-ray,
off
of course. Clear direct Domingo.
Yep.
Resume on navigation.
Wilco.
So we're
Clear
just
direct
gonna
Domingo.
we're gonna
Resume
set
on
this
navigation.
one now.
Artisan 22 X-ray.
Air Nostrum 60 Lima Romeo, contact Madrid approach 118.4. Contact Madrid approach 118.4, Air Nostrum 60 Lima Romeo. Alpine 59 X-ray Tango.
So this is the flight plan we should be following, but what was loaded here has nothing to do with what we're doing right now. So I'm going to make an executive decision here to turn the plane back to its right course.
Air Portugal 943, cleared in Bob 2 Alpha arrival, runway 02. Cleared in Bob 2 Alpha arrival, runway 02, Air Portugal 943.
And that's
Juling
DGO.
1706, cleared Barco 2 Tango arrival, runway 19er.
Clear Barco 2 Tango arrival, runway 19er, Vueling 1706.
So the flight plan is all messed up.
782 Kilo, contact breast control 123.75.
Contact breast control 123.75, Royal Air Maroc 782 Kilo, have a good evening.
And as you can see, DGO is right there, but then what's coming next is not at all
Passing
what
flight
you
level
need. So we need to
152,
go to
climbing to flight
BLV.
level 180.
So we are going to delete this point.
Air Nostrum 1315, Madrid Center, good evening, identified, climb flight level
And now we're going to
360.
insert.
Climb flight level 360, Air Nostrum
After.
1315.
It's going to be BLV. And there's probably going to be another BLV. Yep, duplicates found. And it's going to be this one in Bilbao. Now it's correct. See, so the thing is, sometimes there are steer points with the same name. It does happen quite a lot. And unfortunately, this system is not very clever in picking up the correct one out of Simbrief. So it often picks the first one on the list, which doesn't necessarily mean it's the one you want. So this one apparently was set up somewhere in the south to the right, and it was making our flight plan go crazy. You guys saw it, it was all over the place. Instead of actually putting us out of Edigo to Domingo, which, by the way, it's where we need to request our climb to flight level 430. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now, right now. Madrid Center, Artisan 22 X-ray, request flight level 430.
Artisan 22 X-ray, roger, climb flight level 430.
There we go.
Climb flight level 430, Artisan 22 X-ray.
Iberia 0621, contact Bordeaux control 120.3, have a good evening. Contact Bordeaux control 120.3, Iberia 0621.
So I wish the system could be a little more clever in figuring that we want the one that's closer to us and not the one that's 1,000 miles to the south.
Fueling 1706, report ready
That
for descent.
happened
Ready for descent, fueling
in the
1706.
previous flight, I think.
Fueling
or one of the
1706,
previous
descent to
flights,
flight
not
level
sure.
280.
Descent to flight level 280, fueling 1706.
Cabin Delta.
Madrid Center, Iberia 04 Lima Yankee, passing 12,000 feet, climbing to flight level 150 direct
climbing.
MD823.
Iberia 04 Lima
So the
Yankee, Madrid
pressurization is
Center,
not keeping up with
identified,
this
climb flight
climb
level
rate.
300.
Climb flight level 300,
So we are
Iberia
going
04
to
Lima
help
Yankee.
it.
Air
By
Portugal
going to
943, report
SPS.
ready for descent. Ready for descent, Air Portugal 943.
Climbing
Air
a little
Portugal
slower than
943,
this.
descend to 8,000 feet, QNH 1017. Descend to 8,000 feet, QNH 1017,
Back
Air
to
Portugal
climb.
943.
So basically our pressurization is not keeping up with the
Air
plane's climb
Portugal
rate.
943, descend via start to 4,000 feet, QNH 1017. Descend via start to 4,000 feet, QNH 1017, Air Portugal 943.
We can see there that the delta P is, it's just wrong. It's on the red. So the cabin rate is 1,000 feet, but our climb rate was like 6,000 or something. So fighter jets, yeah. Commercial jets, maybe not go, don't go that fast for the sake of the passengers. There we go, flight level 430. So it is on an auto mode, it's just not being able to keep up. Now it's keeping up. So the delta P just got a little lower. It's still gonna warn you on the annunciator until it stabilizes. Now the plane will accelerate back to cruise. And we're going back to VNAV. Alright. So yeah, I really wish the system could be a little smarter than that. I often just zoom out. See, there's another, alright. See that? That's another point where it thinks that we want some waypoint way, I don't know, where is that? Where is that waypoint? Probably in the United States. Yeah, see that? So it's Belen on the United States. So it thinks that's the one we want. I'm not sure why. It just picks the farther point if it can. It's really weird. So we're going to need to go back to our flight plan. This is why you should always verify your flight plan.
Europa 46 Charlie Yankee
So that's
Heavy, descend via
BLV.
start to 8,000
And
feet,
then
QNH 1020.
Descend via start to 8,000 feet, QNH 1020, Europa 46 Charlie Yankee Heavy.
Badru. And then Belen. See? Now we are going to do exactly the same. So we're going to delete this point. And after Badru, we can actually go forward. Well, let's do things by the book. So let's go insert after. So we're going to say BLV, and you see that duplicates found. Look at that. There's one in Bilbao, Spain, and one in South Africa. So that's the one. Oh, sorry. It's after. It's not BLV. What was it called?
Air Nostrum 57
It's
Delta
Belen.
Victor QNH 1019er, expect the ILSU approach runway 19er with a pivot transition. QNH 1019er, expect the ILSU approach runway 19er with a
Again,
pivot transition. Air
found.
Nostrum
There's one in
57
Spain,
Delta
there's one in the
Victor.
United States, and one in Costa Rica.
Alpine 59 X-ray Tango,
I'm
contact
guessing
method
it
approach
just picked the one it
118.4.
felt like it was okay. It's not even the farthest one, so let's pick this one. Now, if you look at our map. Now it's
Air
correct.
Nostrum 57 Delta Victor,
So let's
clear
zoom out and
direct
see if there's
Piven,
any
cross
more of
Piven
these.
at or above 5,000 feet, cleared ILS Zulu, approach runway 19.
Apparently not. That was
Cleared
the
direct
one.
Piven, cross Piven at or above 5,000 feet, cleared ILS Zulu, approach runway 19, Air Nostrum 57 Delta Victor.
We're still going towards the TGL.
Air Portugal 943, contact Lisbon Center 119.55. Contact Lisbon Center 119.55, Air Portugal 943.
Now, this plane doesn't have a time acceleration like we have on other planes. Let me confirm that. I think it does. No time acceleration. So no time compression means that we need to do this on our own. And the way to do it is really simple. You get another program to do it for you, because if you use FS own time compression, you'll never know at what rate you are. So I'm using this nice little add-on that you can get right now from Flight Sim TO, which is
Eurowings 92 Whiskey, we received an alert regarding your pressurization. Do you need assistance?
Eurowings 92 Whiskey, we're aware, but everything is under control. Thank you.
Nice.
Copy that, keep us posted if anything changes.
How does
Fueling 1706, descend via start to 5,000 feet, QNH
obviously get an
1019.
alert on
Descend by a
pressurization?
start of 5,000 feet.
That's really weird.
QNH 1019, fueling
So the
1706.
program name, I forgot. It's called SimRate Controller.
Simbrief controller is ready.
So pretty simple the way you use it. I just loaded in. It's already reading the plane's altitude, wind, and all that. You have to be very careful with how you use this program, because it doesn't have. So these planes, when they are rated to time compress, often the developer
Fueling
will
1706, contact Lisbon Center 119.55,
plane
bye
itself.
bye.
Contact Lisbon Center 119.55, fueling 1706.
So we need to go to BLV. Oh, we're still on heading, right? Yep. My bad. Go back to nav mode.
Eurowings 92 Whiskey, contact Bordeaux Control 125.6.
Contact Bordeaux Control 125.6, Eurowings 92 Whiskey.
More to the left. So like I was saying, if the plane is certified to be
Iberia 05
flyable
Lima Tango, descend via start to
time
8,000
compression,
feet, QNH 1020.
it will most likely just activate, be included on the electronic flight back, for example. If it's not, then there's a strong chance if you compress time, things will start to go haywire. So be very careful using these third-party controls. But here we are. Let's go to 2 times speed.
2 times speed.
And let's stay there for a while, see how the plane behaves. So remember, this is time compression. We're not accelerating the plane's speed or altitude or changing the altitude or teleporting. We're just accelerating time as the time goes by. Everything else controlled by the plane. So some planes will go berserk if you do this. And you need to be very careful, of course. Let's go back to
Fueling 1982, contact Brett
Standard.
Control 123.75.
There it is, 1013.
123.75, fueling 1982.
So right now we are at Mach 0.779, but with double time that we are about Mach 0.14, 1.4. So another thing that will happen is when you decelerate, the plane might jump. So also be careful with that.
Center on 123.75 Southwind Whiskey Echo.
So Betsy, really miss her. She's my company in these flights, but not today.
Iberia 04 Lima Yankee, cleared Matex 3 Zulu arrival, runway 24 right.
Cleared Matex 3 Zulu arrival, runway 24 right, Iberia 04 Lima Yankee.
Yeah, almost there on the line. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to set it to context weather, and on this one I'll have the map. If I do need to, watch something closely, I'll just go full and I'll stay there for a moment. So this GTC or this controller is now disabled. Only the radios for the co-pilot are enabled.
Heroing 70 Lima, contact breast control 123.75.
The plane seems to be handling 2 times compression really good.
Good day. Air Nostrum 57 Delta Victor, contact Vigo Tower 118.455. Over to Tower 118.455, Air Nostrum 57 Delta Victor. Europa 46 Charlie Yankee Heavy, contact Madrid approach 118.4. Contact Madrid approach 118.4, Europa 46 Charlie Yankee Heavy.
So on the turn, it has a little struggle keeping on the line, which is expected when you're time compressed. But since we're going to fly straight forward, let's go 4 times and see how the plane handles
Ready
it.
for descent.
4 times speed.
Iberia 04 Lima Yankee.
Iberia 04 Lima Yankee, descend via start to 6,000 feet, QNH 1022.
Speaking
Descend via
of,
start to 6,000 feet,
looks
QNH
like
1022, Iberia 04 Lima Yankee.
serving more food. Seems like they're enjoying it. Because the bleed air is, oh my, now the cabin's getting a little cold now, so let's get this back to normal. So they're now getting a little less aggravated. If you want to know what they're thinking about, you can actually hover their names. So, took the coffee, practiced ease. Yeah, it's like that because we're accelerating time. So, let's go back to charts here. And now I cannot. Oh, I can. Nice. You see now the plane is tracked back into the flight plan route, and now it says FMS route there.
Partition 22 X-ray, contact breast control 123.75.
So you see a lot of things can go wrong.
Contact control 123.75.
Going to breast control. Northwest France. One thing that I've noticed is when you're time compressed, the chase plane application will switch cameras pretty quick, so I apologize for that. It's not like I'm doing it on purpose. Another cool feature about this little Simbrief controller app is that you can actually arm the auto reset for an Atlantic. This is called the Gulf of Biscaya. I think it's well pronounced Biscaya in English as well, but if not, it could be something like Biscay or something. But it is Biscaya in Spanish. This is actually a point of convergence for bad weather. It actually gets pretty rough up here sometimes.
Easy 68 Alpha Quebec, contact press control 124.8, good day.
Contact press control 124.8, easy 68 Alpha Quebec.
Set up these cameras here for chase plane. So let's
Press control more than 5242, good evening, flight level 340.
More than 5242, press control, identified.
So pretty clever interface here. Let's get a little more to the right. So, downwards, like so, and let's get up a little bit. Much better. Alright, save. What am I going to call this? EFB CPT. Done. And now we can add this to the cinematics as well. Nice. EFB done. Alright, pretty simple to set up actually. And then you can just set up shortcuts for your joystick. So I have this one, if I press this one I'll go to the belly, this one I'll go to the tail, oops. And I don't have one for the engine actually, but I got one now for the electronic flight bag, just the one I created. And I also added to the cinematic, so when I put it on camera mode, cinematic mode, it will also cycle between these two. Hello, Drexy. Yes, I'm flying to London City today, Drexy. Little airfield in the center of London. I think my scenery was updated, so I hope it's okay. But I forgot to update it before this flight, so I apologize if the scenery for some reason is borked. But I did receive the notification that it was updated, and I completely forgot to do it before the flight.
Control 124.8, have a good evening.
You know London City, Drexy?
124.8, Griffin 3 Mike Golf, bye-bye.
I flew there before in the PAE 146 once. And then I exited there with a 319, which doesn't fly there in real life. It is quite a steep approach. I think the glide path is 4 degrees or something, or maybe more than that, 4.5 degrees, something like that. It's difficult, but it's not that bad.
Cent on the money, decimal 275, Shamrock 588.
Look at that speed. How about that? Look like a fighter jet. Right now at 4 times the speed, 4 times time compression, it's something like Mach 3 something. It's incredible. That much better. So we're now still over the Gulf of Biscaya. flight level 430. Oh, by the way, in my live stream about the Citation X, I said the Citation was the record breaker, record holder for the maximum speed for a commercial business jet, but I don't think that's the case. I think there's a Gulfstream, I don't know which Gulfstream, but one of the Gulfstreams actually now holds the record, so he dethroned the Citation X. But I like the Citation X very good. I just remember, I think Cristiano Ronaldo also has the jet, also has the carbon fiber type motor, doesn't he? If he does, I think I'm gonna stop flying this plane because I don't want to be accused of imitating Ronaldo. Alright, we are almost getting to 2/3 of this flight. And this is us, so let's reset. Let's set that up on our FMC. So we are going through the Navi 1 Charlie. So let's go procedures, arrival via the Navi 1 Charlie. Too much. Navi 1 Charlie for runway 09er. That's good. Let's just check on the preview. So this is the approach. Pretty straightforward all the way down to runway 9er, which I think we're going to get clearance just after Godlow to approach.
Flight level 247, climbing to flight level 300.
Let's set up the performance.
Breath control identified.
Landing data. EGLC runway 09er. Weather. Let's set it up. Refresh data. Let's go down here to EGLC. There it is. So our weather for London City is 08 at 14.
Runway 08 right. Clean level, go for arrival. Runway 08
well,
right.
080 at 14, that's what I meant. 14. And we got no discernible clouds, no clouds detected. Temperature 23, no clouds detected in London, that's fresh. QNH 1026, doesn't appear, it appears to be rising slightly, but it's okay. Runway, we got 4,900, so it's not a very long runway. If you guys know, London City is a very short airfield. We're gonna land with flaps full, and our landing data, except landing speeds, our VAP is 107, and our VRF is the same with the VFS, the VAC, just the VFS is 122 knots. So pretty cool.
Report ready for descent.
We're ready for descent.
Ready for descent, Artisan 22 X-ray.
Artisan 22 X-ray, descend to flight level 220.
Descend to flight level 220, Artisan 22 X-ray.
So we are going to descend above our top of climb, on top of descent, I mean.
Arrival, runway 07.
Hotel 2 on November arrival, runway 07, easy 68 Alpha Quebec.
Easy 68 Alpha Quebec, contact breath control 120.15.
And flight
breath control 120.15.
Let's get our passengers
Alpha Quebec.
So by pressing flight level change, we're just telling it to descend to that altitude, but it's not going to descend because it's going to be optimal until it decides to descend on our top of descent. But since we already been given the instruction, we're going to go vRAAS.
Artisan 22 X-ray. Contact breath control 120.15.
Let's descend at 1,000 feet for now. So this is just like open descent on an
Breast
Airbus,
control, Artisan 22
but we are
X-ray,
using
passing
manual
flight level
descent.
429 and descending to flight level 220.
Artisan 22 X-ray breast control identified.
And we are still going to arm VNAV. So VNAV is armed to path as soon as we reach the top of descent and balance our descent rate with the FMS pre-programmed descent rate. It will sync and
flight level 294 climbing to flight level 330. Adiri 07 Hotel Papa breast control identified. Continue
Just
climb to flight
careful.
level 330. Continue climb to flight level 330. Adiri 07
accelerate
Hotel
too much.
Papa.
We do overspeed. We need to reduce a little of our thrust here. Remember, this plane doesn't have auto throttle, so it will only be able to maintain a certain speed
BD68 Alpha Quebec report ready for descent.
if you let it control the descent rate.
BD68 Alpha Quebec descent to flight level 190.
If not, you gotta
Descend
control
to flight
yourself
level
manually.
190, 86 Alpha Quebec.
Always remember to set your heading to current. So it's now in sync mode there.
Griffin 75 Hotel descend via start to 7,000 feet QNH 1025.
Descend 5 star to 7,000 feet QNH 1025, Griffin 75
We are
Hotel.
still in mainland France, but then we will cross the channel, and if there weren't any clouds here, we could already see land because it's not that far. But there be clouds. Updated our approach, and you can see there the flight plan was updated on the EFB as well, so you can actually visualize prior to making it. But there's something you can also do on the MFDs. You can also visualize the chart on the MFDs, but it's arguable it's better to visualize it on the EFB. It's just a matter of your choice. A lot of people don't like to use the tablets, they want to use FMS system. I respect that, but I think we live in a day and age where EFBs are a thing. Most planes, if not all, have electronic flight back on board, one shape or another shape. So it's inevitable. But when it comes to GNS, so Garmin systems, yeah, of course, the planes are equipped with that, so might as well use it. It's minus one thing to handle, minus one screen to look at. You can actually split your screen. Every screen on the Garmin 3000 is splittable, so you can split it multiple screens. So in this case, you can have 6 screens up ahead. So why not just use it? I've not used it for the departure, but I did use a ground map, which was very useful. But I guess I'm old school. I prefer to work on electronic flight back, which is a weird thing to say to say you're old school and still say you work with the EFB. Old school would be having paper charts, right, and following them by hand. That's where I learned to fly, and I guess a lot of people learn to fly as well. So I suppose it's far-fetched. You saw there the engine. That's the only texture system that I really not fond. I really don't like it. Oh, did I press a button here? No, it's just intercepting vPAS. You see there? So now we're descending at the optimum rate. Right. So the texture I was talking about, can you see that? So I'm not really sure about this shiny interior texture. It looks weird to me. It should be dark, should be filled with soot, or at least not like this. It looks like someone came in here with, what's it called, Scotch Brite, and started polishing the inside of the engine. It would have worked before you start using it, but after you use it for a while, it will turn completely black, or at least darker than what it is here. And the same up on the front. I'm not really fond of this shiny, bright, and it's actually more visible the closer you get. See that? I think this polished type of metal looks okay on the outside, but this one in here I think should be a little less polished. This is my personal opinion. It's also part of the way that Flight Sim does its shading. So we're actually going over another aircraft here. It's going ahead of us. It's going forward. We're actually steering away from it. There it is. Or is it turning as well? No, it's not turning. It's going forward. Let's see if I can zoom it so you can see it as well. Oh, I lost it. I lost it. I was the one looking at it. I lost it. But it's still there. Fortunately, we won't need to resolve a possible conflict there. So we are cleared to flight level 220 and nothing more after that, so we are good to go. So aside from that flight plan issue where the steer points were picked randomly actually, this plane actually flies pretty good, and even that little bug is just a bug between Simbrief and the way Garmin reads the flight plan. Not really, I wouldn't say not really the developer's fault, but at the same time I think the developer is capable of designing a way to prevent that from happening. This is another bug I've seen. Sometimes the map will go away for some reason. Not sure why. So when that happens, if it happens a lot, I suggest you switch off the map, inset map.
Flight director.
Oops. You're back on path? Yeah, you are. Yeah, that's cool. So this is the OBS, you don't want to mess with that. What I mean is, you go here to the PFD map settings, and where is that? So map layout, okay, so there's, so this is the HSI map. You can switch it to inset map, and this apparently doesn't bug that much, but even better than that, if you can switch that off, you can set the traffic map, which is a lot better for you, the traffic inset, because now you don't need to have the traffic panel on your middle screen.
To X-ray, cross level at flight level 220 and descend flight level 140.
Cross level at flight level 220, then descend flight level 140, Artisan 22 X-ray.
So after Neville, after this one, we'll start descending to 140.
Press control, line 87 X-ray Charlie, flight level 370.
We can actually set that up already, because so the ATC is telling us that we should not pass Naval below flight level 220. So the idea is that's a restriction that the flight plan will have based on the charted constraints. But if you can set up the next altitude, which is 140, the plane will keep the constraints regardless. So you see there on Magenta, that's a constraint. The plane will fly to that constraint. It will not descend until it passes that steer point. That's what VNAV does. It does that according to the FMS, according to the nav data. So it's perfectly safe. And sometimes ATC will override what the star approach or SID departure will tell you. And it might tell you to climb at a certain altitude that's above what you will be assigned via the chart. You have to confirm that, of course, with the ATC. Beyond ATC is not capable of allowing us to confirm that. But if it's charted, let's say charted that you should follow that steer point or that waypoint at 8,000 feet, but it tells you to climb to 10,000, in real life you can just say confirm 10,000 above the charted altitude. And if they tell us, yeah, do that, you might as well do it. Sometimes that could happen to avoid traffic. It's not something that should happen, because if it's charted, there's a reason for that. Especially below assigned altitude, that's very dangerous, because sometimes the minimum altitudes are set to avoid obstacles. So if ATC tells you to descend below that obstacle altitude or that charted altitude, it's kind of dangerous. If it's below minimums, it's very dangerous. Let's go to 100.
Star to flight level 100, Artisan 22 X-ray.
So, beyond ATC,
contact London Control 118.475.
Contact London Control 118.475, Artisan 22
that's
X-ray.
England.
Good evening.
So I was saying, beyond
London
ATC is a
Control,
little
Artisan 22 X-ray, passing flight level 215,
nervous
send
about
into flight level
altitudes.
100.
See, there's a constraint right there at NetView.
Artisan 22 X-ray, London Control, identified.
So we passed Naval above flight level 220 as requested, and we are continuing to climb now to flight level 140.
Alpha Quebec, descend to flight level 150. Descend to flight level 150, easy 68 Alpha Quebec.
So like I was saying, beyond ATC gets a little nervous with altitudes and will start to force you to lower and lower altitudes if you're not climbing at the descent rate it kind of calculates for you. That's not really an issue per se, but sometimes you yourself can get contagious by that anxiousness and might want to descend faster. It's perfectly normal to do so, because you think, well, if it's telling me to descend to that altitude and I'm still at flight level 200, maybe I should go down faster. But remember, VNAV path is calculating your descent rate based on the star. So it's going to input restrictions, and it's going to calculate that you need to reach, let's say, flight level 140 at NetView. So it's going to get the optimal descent rate to get there. Remember to trust your instruments, basically. Trust your flight director, that's what I always say. Unless it's your altitude is wrong, your altimeter setting is wrong, or your heading is wrong, of course, then. Or if your waypoints, like you saw earlier, are all messed up, then by all means put it on heading and altitudes and or vertical speed and do it yourself. And as you can see, now we're descending at a very mild descent rate of 1100 feet per minute. That's very comfortable as a descent rate for this type of planes.
Contact Gatwick approach 129.025. Contact Gatwick approach 129.
London Control, Griffin 3 Mike Golf, passing flight
Almost
level
there now.
222, descending to flight level
We could fly
070.
straight in from here and cut almost half
Griffin 3
of the
Mike
remaining
Golf,
flight,
London
but
Control, identified.
we're going to follow the flight plan. These buttons work actually. The yoke is just moving. It's not interactive. But I like to put it on just for the show.
Traction
You guys can see my direction.
Descend via start to 7,000 feet, QNH 1026.
Descend via start to 7,000 feet, QNH 1026, fraction 600 Foxtrot.
EV 8406, contact
There's
Gatwick
9
approach
suitable parking zones 3
129.025.
to 10.
Contact
It's a
Gatwick
walk-in,
approach
no bus, no push.
129.025, EV8406.
We can also, this is the ramp GA large, it's not the one we want, this is GA medium. Let's go to, the main apron is basically for a big or bigger, because no big airlines operate to London City. So let's go to the GA apron.
Speed to 2 Juliet,
stand
8
15.
elbows, 1 Mike arrival, runway 05
I hope
left.
I don't forget it.
8 elbows, 1 Mike arrival,
Use
runway
plain
05 left.
stairs.
Speed to 2 Juliet.
And that's it. So we set up our
London
descent.
Control, flight 466.
And as soon as
Good
we land,
evening.
we're just going to
Passing
say we're going to go to
221,
gate
descending to flight level 100.
15 or stand 15.
Flight 8466, London Control, identified. Ryanair 5103, contact Paris Control 126.475.
Contact Paris Control 126.475, Ryanair 5103.
A lot of traffic up ahead, which is expected near London. So London has not just London City, which is in the very center of London. You also have London Heathrow, the biggest and most famous airport in London. You have London Gatwick, London Luton, and Stansted. 4 big airports plus 1 regional London City airport. That's a lot of airports, and sometimes traffic gets a little busy around London. Fortunately, all airports have specific approaches that avoid the other airports, which is amazing. I mean, it's logical they would do such a thing. What I mean is that there's no way you'll be interfering with traffic of other airports unless you fly off course.
Contact Gatwick approach 129.025.
So now we are obeying to the restriction here. So we keep staying at 14,000 feet.
Ready for descent. Speed
And we'll only start descending after OVAP.
Flight level 200.
Actually, we'll start descending after Sussex. So after this point here, we'll start descending.
61 Foxtrot Kilo, contact Paris Control 119.825.
Now we're going to go back a little bit on the throttle.
825, Yuling 61 Foxtrot Kilo.
Not by much, just enough to get to those 310 knots of the FMS speed that we want to achieve. We're above 10,000 feet, so we're not overspeeding. If we were to reach below 10,000 feet, then we need to cut down to 250 knots. But the plane will warn us and we'll be able to decelerate as well.
Center on 119.825, easy 290 Echo.
So now I'm going to split this one again in order to have the weather radar here. I'm not expecting any significant weather, but just in case. This is the context radar, but if you want the actual radar, you just set it up here and then you set it to weather, and now you have the weather radar operating. There aren't many controls here. You can basically set your scan to vertical, but that's it. You can also have a bearing line just in case you need a central line just to tell you where you're going. So for now we're going to stick with that. If you don't want a radar, a big radar thing, you can just get full and then when needed return to it. Just be mindful, if you change modes, the radar will go to standby because it's not showing anything. to Sussex, we will be resuming descent. So we're now out of net view to Sussex. Distance is 6 miles. And as soon as we cross it, we'll continue descending. We're just obeying to the chart's constraint. Now we're going to set up our charts here. So we will... Noise abatement, no. So ground charts, this is the one we want. So this is the visual approach. This is the one we want. So airport parking. And now for the arrival, we are getting that one. Procedures, we are getting
F 37 runway Bravo, contact Heathrow Director, approach 134.908.
Contact Heathrow Director, approach 134.908.
Charlie right
37
here.
Romeo Bravo.
This is the one we follow. We're already in it. Nice. And then for the ILS approach, for runway 09, this one was it. So, Drexy, you were talking about it being difficult. Oh, more, it's even more than I thought. So the glide slope, the glide path is 5.5 degrees, so that's even more than I was thought. I was saying 4 or 4.5, no, it's 5.5 degrees. So yeah, it's a very steep descent, but all we need to do is set up our ILSs correctly and we'll be fine. So let's set that up, ILS 09. We're going to set our minimums to, so this is Bravo type 410.
Speed 149, report ready for descent.
And the primary frequency is 111.15. Let's just confirm that, correct. And our course should be 09 and 2.
Fraction 600 Foxtrot, contact London Control 118.775.
No, that's not
Contact London
activated.
Control 118.775, fraction
That's okay.
600 Foxtrot.
So now we're going to have our ILS approach out of Godlu. We can't go out of Godlu to there. So there's a discontinuity, yes. We are going to need some radar
Descend
vector.
by star to 8,000 feet, QNH 1026 at 489 Alpha.
Sun Express 3691, contact Paris Control 126.475.
We are going to need some vectors, so we'll probably fly to London City, DB, and then perform this turn here. But we'll need
Contact
some
standard
vectors
approach
in
136.2s at 489 Alpha.
London Control, Alpine 84 Lima Foxtrot, good evening, flight level 351.
Alpine 84 Lima Foxtrot, London Control, identified. Speedbird 2 Juliet, cross over at flight level 200, then descend to flight level 080.
Cross Alpha is at flight level 200, then descend to flight level 080, Speedbird 2 Juliet.
Yep, we were clear for 10,000.
X-ray, contact Thames approach 133.455.
Contact Thames approach 133.455, Artisan 22 X-ray. Thames Artisan 22 X-ray, passing flight level 139 and descending to flight level 100 with information kilo.
Artisan 22 X-ray Thames approach, QNH 1026, expect the ILS approach runway 09 with the Oscar Delta Lima 1 Golf transition.
QNH 1026, expect the ILS approach runway 090 with the Oscar Delta Lima 1 Golf transition, Artisan 22 X-ray.
Vectors here. Because Godlu is not right next to London City. It's still a bit far away.
Artisan 22 X-ray, clear direct Gadla, cross Gad level above flight level 100, cleared ILS approach runway 09.
Clear direct Gadla, cross Gad level above flight level 100, cleared ILS approach runway 09, Artisan 22 X-ray.
So out of Gadla into the ILS? Okay. That's okay. Alright. We'll just vector ourselves in by hand. Reaching 10 tau. And then our decision altitude, or my maneuvering altitude, should be 2,000 feet. So if we are cleared, I'm just going to set to 2,000 feet. That is not pleasant. Following, so 2,000 feet. Let's descend a little faster now. ILS chart, we should fly to the NDB, which is at 322, but I'm not sure we have NDB available on this plane. The right way to do this would be to get the let's see, audio and radios. So nav1 probably only VOR. Oh, we did have an ADF radio, so where is that? Such a remote thing to use that I'm not really sure how to use that. So there's apparently an inbuilt ADF radio on this plane, and you should be able to navigate using VOR as well. You just get used to the CDU, using the CDU so much that you don't remember that there is such a thing. So here it is, NDB. So let's tune in that to London City, which is LC Yankee, Lima Charlie Yankee. There it is. So that's tuned in. And now we should be able to get that on our PFD bearing nav1 FMS ADF. So here we are. So now with that ADF, which we are probably off range for now, we should be able to fly directly to that NDB, then turn left, heading 304 after
flight
beam,
466, passing flight level 145, descending to flight level 100 with information
to the approach. So that's the way you follow this.
Flight 466 10's approach, QNH 1026, expect ILS approach runway 09 with Oscar Delta Lima and Golf transition.
QNH 1026, expect ILS approach runway 09 with Oscar Delta Lima 1 Golf transition, fly 8466.
All aircraft be advised, information Lima now current, QNH 1026.
1026. Set 1026 set. So waiting for the transition altitude, which I don't recall here.
Fly 8466, maintain 250 knots.
Maintain 250 knots, fly 8466.
It's telling me to climb, but I don't see the traffic here. By the way, TFC, so traffic advisory is mandatory, regardless of what
Fly
you're doing.
8466, clear direct Gadla, cross Gad level above flight level 100.
I think it was just
Cleared ILS
2%.
approach runway
The plane
09.
just passed us.
Clear direct Gadla, cross Gadla to above flight level 100. Cleared ILS approach runway 09, fly
It's actually above us
8466.
now, so I didn't see it at all. Alright, let's start a mild descent here. See, we're flying a little offset to that towards the runways, so the displaced threshold of the runway. It's not the displaced threshold, I don't remember the name of it. It's basically the initial point for the approach. We were not given any vectors, so we're kind of going on a guessing work here. Throttle. By the way, how are our passengers without air conditioning? Probably miserable. Oh no, there's only one guy is not enjoying it. Oh, actually two guys not enjoying it. So some snacks, serve some coffee, clean the cabin. See if their appreciation goes up a little bit. This guy's ecstatic, he's loving it. I mean, the cabin temperature is now okay. It's only Coco and Salad is being hard to sell.
Ladies and gentlemen, descent. Please ensure your seatbelts are fastened. Ladies and gentlemen,
it's not a bad average actually. It's just those two guys that are not enjoying the flight. Too bad on them. Man, a little bit. There's a plane coming from our right hand side. For that guy, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's going to pass by us harmlessly. So we are entering vertical track in a moment, which is, I'm gonna help it here by coming back down here. So you see the magenta chevron, and there's another chevron here. It's basically telling you where it's going to track, and it's going to intercept the optimal descent rate. Once it does, it goes into path mode, and it will control the plane all the way down, which is something that we really want, because this glide path towards London City is very, very aggressive. Roast dinner, nice, enjoy. Yeah, it is a lovely sunset. Let me just get a different perspective here. Wow, look at the moon. You can actually see the individual LED lights on the plane. Can you see that? That's attention to detail right there. Same on the right side, left side. There's London up ahead. That's the River Thames to the right there. So here's the glide path right now. We are clear for the ILS, so I'm going to engage approach mode. We're still a little off, so it's only armed for the localizer, and it will also be armed for the glide path. But we still need to turn to the left and land, so don't worry. We're not going to make a direct approach. In fact, I'm going to do something here. So what am I doing? I'm messing with the altitude. That's not what I want. I want to mess with the heading here. Let's turn ourselves parallel to the runway, and let's do that right now. Because remember, we need to go forward and then turn to land. What am I doing? I even tuned in the NDB. What am I doing? I need to turn in towards the London City NDB. There it is.
Altimeter setting.
Yep, set local. 1025. Actually 1026. Now let's set this one as well to 1026. There's the airport, there's the NDB as well. And then we'll make a turn. What was the chart? Where's the chart? A turn 304B. So let's set that up. A little to the right here. London City, there's the Millennium Dome, not the Millennium Falcon. Right, let's turn 304 now. Let's decel this plane. Following more or less up until DME 5, and that's when we'll turn towards the approach. But I'm going to do a little better than that. I'm going to go here to my flight plan, pick this one up, and just say direct to it as soon as we hit the 5 DME, which we are going to do that right about
flyer 49 November, passing flight level 145, descending to flight level 100 with information Lima.
Flyer 49 November 10's approach, QNH 1026, expect ILS approach runway 09 with Oscar Delta Lima 1 Golf transition.
QNH 1026, expect the ILS approach runway 09 with Oscar Delta Lima 1 Golf transition, flyer 49 November.
Track IR. There we go. Now we are reducing our speed, set flaps 1. Steep on the turn, should be a much smoother turn, but still, we're gonna get there. Here we are. Now,
Vertical track.
we're on vertical track.
Flyer 49 November, cleared direct Cadillac, cross Cadillac above flight level 100, cleared ILS approach runway 09.
Cleared direct Cadillac, cross Cadillac to above flight level 100, cleared ILS approach runway 09, flyer 49 November.
So we need to be exactly where we are right now. And there's the runway. We're a little low, which is where we want to be. Localizer tracking. Waiting for the glide path. Flaps. Let's go idle. We need to go down to 107 knots. There's our glide slope coming down. And there it is. Glide slope intercepted.
Gear.
And gear down.
Gear.
Still not clear to land, I believe.
Thames Artisan 22 X-ray,
we need to go to the
1,500
tower.
feet with information Kilo. City Tower, Artisan 22 X-ray, ILS approach runway 09.
Artisan 22 X-ray, City Tower, wind 090 degrees, 12 knots, runway 09 cleared to land.
Clear to land.
Runway 09 cleared to land, Artisan 22 X-ray.
Alright, let's get rid of this. Clear to land, so we're gonna get our feet on the pedals and we're gonna make this a manual landing. Autopilot off.
Approaching 09.
Autopilot off. 09 confirmed, a little low now. And trust the flight director.
500.
Check. Oh, we didn't set up the minimums.
400. Minimums. Minimums.
Oh, we did. Continue.
Minimums. Minimums. 200.
Frisky.
100. Flight director.
Touchdown. Reverse.
600 meters
Oh, this
remaining.
one doesn't have room. What am I doing? Use the speed brakes. That's what we need.
Artisan 22 X-ray, exit right to Lima.
Exit right at Lima, Artisan 22 X-ray.
Lima's right here. Welcome to London City. Nice. A little low on the FPS, but we are here. And we
Artisan
are
22 X-ray, contact ground 121.83.
Ground 121.83, Artisan 22 X-ray.
Let's go to ground. Let's get gate 15. Taxi to gate.
Artisan 22 X-ray, request taxi to the gate.
Artisan 22 X-ray, welcome to London City. Say parking or advise if need assignments.
Gate 15, please. Gate 15.
Artisan 22 X-ray, gate 15 does not exist at this airport. Please select another.
Yeah, this is any gate.
Any gate is fine, Artisan 22 X-ray.
Artisan 22 X-ray, gate 9 or taxi at pilot's discretion.
Gate 9 or taxi at my discretion, Artisan 22 X-ray.
Roger.
No.
Turn right.
What is it doing? Change facility. Main prawn. Stand 9. Show me where it is. Right there on the bottom. That's all I need. Let's get these two taxi lights. Throw off. This is not working correctly here. I'm at this airport. I don't have any data here. Let's get this one. Let's get our chart here. There it is. So we're going for a gate 9er. This is 27. Lots of British Airways City Birds. Lots of Embraers. In fact, Embraers are the kings of London City, I believe. Lots of commercial flights, regional commercial flights. You won't find any Airbuses other than the Airbus A220. Definitely not the 300 series. Not because the airport is too small for those birds, like an A319 could land here. It's just a matter of room to maneuver. Not much room.
In 300 meters, turn right.
So this is the GSX Progressive Taxi. I've never used it before. Unfortunately, there's no way to park correctly. So that's 9 right there. There's a big bus coming. So we shouldn't be here. We should be at...
turn right.
Yeah, see here? So this is gate 9. So you need to come here and then turn around. But that's not what's going to happen here. Where's the gate agent, by the way? I don't see anybody here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to warp there.
Progressive taxi completed.
Alright, and here we are. Alright, let's set up the parking brake. Done. And let's shut down the aircraft and the board. So first of all, yeah, they didn't like it. So flaps up, everything's fine and dandy. Let's get our ground ops to set up the GPU. There it is. I'm sorry. Set up the chocks as well. And now we can turn off our engines. Stop 1 first. And stop 2. Radar off. Should have been off a little earlier. It was on standby anyway. Looks good. GPU is connected. We can now turn this out of auto mode. Air conditioning is not functional, and let's deboard the plane. Right, nice flight, I think. I did enjoy the flight tonight. The flight to London City is always a challenge, regardless. But today everything went as fine as... Oh, still got the taxi lights on. Give me a moment. Alright, and now the seatbelt signs are going off. Alright, much better now. Alright, the passenger will be deboarding the plane now. I hope you guys enjoyed this flight. I do love this plane. A little quirky, some things need to be ironed out. It's absolutely normal, but the Phenom 300 is one of the best you can get right now. And for the next flight, I'll be flying out of London City on yet another amazing aircraft. That will be the Sovereign. So Cessna Citation Sovereign Plus will be the next flight out of London City to Lisbon. Yeah, we're going back home because I want to make yet another special flight out of Lisbon to another destination next. But let's keep that on the wraps for now. So guys, this was the glide slope flight out of Madrid in Spain to London City in the United Kingdom. Quite a pleasant flight, quite a pleasant approach. The plane still is a bit heavy on the frame rate. That's for sure, but yeah, there's been worse. There's been better, but there's also been a lot worse. Here comes the passenger bus, buried under the ground, but still. Guys, if you like what you saw, leave a like, subscribe. You know the whole thing. Leave a like, subscribe. If you're feeling generous, you can also donate to the channel. Every single penny invested here will be reinvested in new add-ons in the future. That means scenery, new planes, the whole shebang. So if you're feeling okay donating, I'll really appreciate it. So see you next time, and remember, there's always the sun shining above those clouds. Times will get better, always. See you, and bye-bye. Oh, I forgot the music, didn't I? Can't leave the stream without the music. There it is. Who's singing? Some people made suggestions on who's singing. It was really been hilarious. Trying to guess the artist. You'll never guess it. I mean, I hope you don't guess it, but even if you did. Oh, by the way, this plane has a broken compressor.
Calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be.
Where is that? There it is, damaged.
I'll spread my wings.
So we are going to perform maintenance to see if we can recover it. It's okay. So for the next flight, we already have a generator. Alright.
As I soar into the light.
See you next time, guys. Appreciate it.
The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody.
Thank you, Trexie. Thanks for being around always. Thank you so much.
I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drums begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the